Hi everyone, welcome to this week's edition of News Dabs for the Pro Cannabis Media Group. I'm Jimmy Young reporting for ProCannabisMedia.com. Leave it to my old friends in the media to spin a historic moment in the emergence of the cannabis industry. In the Week in Weed newsletter by Dan Adams of the Boston Globe, he leads his weekly roundup of the world of cannabis news with the following paragraph. Legalized seafoods. Imagine being the kind of dude who answers the question, what theme should our family-friendly seafood restaurant use in its new marketing campaign? Getting messed up on drugs. Now, before I react to this sensational, misleading, and embellished comment, here's one of the legal seafoods commercials that is launching at 4:20 p.m. on Monday. Pretty clever and harmless, don't you think? I give legals a ton of credit for being one of the first mainstream companies to accept that this product is legal now, and we should all get used to the emerging new normal. Getting messed up on drugs? Really? There are plenty of drugs out there that will get you messed up and plenty of doctors who prescribe them. You know how I feel. If adults use this responsibly, it can enhance your endocannabinoid system and your life. Now, I get the big business picture here. Everyone on both sides of this issue is pretty sensitive, but come on, in this era of zapping commercials, this one stands out. The reaction is in the eyes of the viewer. Speaking of viewing, there is a new set of PSAs out there that are being distributed by the Cannabis Control Commission and the State Department of Health. Here's an excerpt.
The cannabis sold today is much more potent. It's also available in a wider variety of products, like edibles and vaping devices that can appeal to your kids. By the way, if you have marijuana in your home, lock it up, out of reach and out of sight of children.
There has been an uptick in emergency room visits by irresponsible parents for not taking care of their stash and their kids getting into it. Now, this happened in Colorado in the early years of legalization too, so come on people, lock up your edibles. Just to give you an idea of how many edible units were sold in Massachusetts 2 weeks ago, it's 17% compared to 70% of flour and concentrates. So again, lock up your edibles. They look like candy, but it isn't. And remember, some states don't allow them at all. Now, they are allowed in the great state of Maine, where they are just now rolling out their adult use recreational guidelines. There are plenty of veterans of war in Maine, and for years they've been gathering in Harmony, Maine for a smokeout. That's the annual legal smokeout that has become a celebration festival for veterans to learn about cannabis, tell their stories. Meanwhile, hundreds flocked to Harmony, Maine last weekend to listen to music and attend educational panels. One led by our own veteran and New Orleans correspondent, Elizabeth Dameron.
Like I said, I went through the PTSD unit in the early 90s. They had me on Prozac, Wellbutrin, Trazodone. And it was just 2 weeks after into it, it just wasn't me. I was more suicidal then than I was before I went to the PTSD unit. And anyways, just completely got away from pharmaceuticals and have been with cannabis ever since.
And I come from a long line of veterans. My uncles, my grandfathers, they've all served in the military, Marines, Navy, things like that. And I see that a lot of our vets don't have the outsource and the community that they need when they get home.
Finally, the first European country to legalize cannabis is, no, not the Netherlands, but the tiny country of Luxembourg. Within 2 years, their program will be up and running for adults over the age of 18. Now, don't book your travel just yet. Non-residents or non-Luxembourgers will not be allowed to purchase it, and you can't grow it either, no matter what your age is. You know, it's a whole new world of weed out there. Use it responsibly. For the Pro Cannabis Media Group at ProCannabisMedia.com, I'm Jimmy Young reporting. And now, here's a few cannabis-friendly events in the greater Boston area. News Dabs is a weekly production of the Pro Cannabis Media Group. It is supported by Alternative Compassion Services in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. ACS is a leading provider of medicinal cannabis at 693 Elm Street in Bridgewater.